A big round of applause for the Middle East Podcast Forum. Make some noise. Come on, you guys, let's go. It's a really difficult job. Ammar.
We're booking you next year. Let's go. So with our fourth panel, we would like to welcome our mediator from Hamburger Generation. Anybody like burgers? I love burgers. Okay, it's Isra Abu Zaid. Applause.
Woo! Thank you. Hamburger Generation Jilal Hamburger. Hello, everybody. My name is Isra Abu Zaid, and I'm so happy to be here for the second year in a row at the Middle East Podcast Forum. Our panel today, brace yourself. This is the comic relief of the show, okay? So it's podcast horror stories. I'm going to invite up our panel for today. And actually, I know these guys, I know their podcasts, but I've just met them today, and I've realized that they are the perfect candidates for the podcast Horror Stories panel. So let's invite up, first up, Abdulaziz from AlkoraM3na Podcast. And then we have Fowzi from housezofi. Woo! Woo! And finally, Saeed from RootQuest. Come on up, Saeed. All right, you guys grab a microphone. These all work, I hope. Everyone do a test thing on the mic. Turning them on.
Hello.
Hiba, she always knows what to do. All right. Everybody, okay, Saeed. All right, so horror stories when it comes to podcasts. We've all, I mean, if you are a podcaster and you're here today, you've always kind of had that dreaded incident where you're interviewing a guest and then a few minutes in you realize the microphones aren't on or you're not recording or so on or so forth. So let's hear from you guys. What kind of incidents? Let's start with Abdulaziz first. What horror stories have you experienced through your podcast?
Well, I'm pretty sure all of us podcasters have been through a lot of things before and not hitting record or whatever. But one incident happened once. So a little backstory about my podcast or our podcast. It's AlkoraM3na. It's about football, Kura. And we record every Monday because, as you know, football games are on Saturday and Sunday. So we need to be fresh, ready to record on Mondays. And then the episode is usually live at Tuesday, and we schedule it to be live at 12 a.m. Tuesday. So we usually record at our humble studio, which is my co-host Abdullah's basement at his family home. And that week, incidentally, he was traveling for work. But somehow we managed to, he helped us out. He managed to let us in his house, family home. We recorded the episode. Everything was great. I did the editing, same spot, and then I uploaded the episode and scheduled it to be live at 12 a.m. And usually we don't tweet about it until the next day. It's because it's late and people don't usually use Twitter that late. But for some reason, that day, I decided to go back home and start tweeting before 12 a.m. about it from AlkoraM3na's official account.
Were you like really excited about the episode?
I liked the episode. It was nice. I was like, okay, let's start getting people engaged, excited about the episode. So I start tweeting about it and guys, are you ready? And we get interaction and likes and all. And then at 12 exactly, the notification from SoundCloud pops up and it's live. So I turn my phone off, go to bed, go to sleep. Wake up the next morning and Twitter is flooded with mentions and I'm like, oh, they like the episode.
It's gone viral.
Yeah. But yeah, I knew it wasn't that great. So I checked what's going on and...
It wasn't that great?
It's just another week, yeah. We post them every week, so they're almost the same. Anyway, so I'll go online and check what's going on and they're like, where's the episode? Give us our episode. You know how followers are very demanding with a podcast. And
yes,
they're
they
used
are.
to going to work in the morning Tuesday or going to school and listening to the podcast every Tuesday morning. And where's the episode? It's not there. And I log into SoundCloud and I find the episode. It's there, but it says that it's 0 minutes, 0 seconds. and I have no idea what to do because the episode is on Abdullah's computer in his family home.
And
Abdullah is not in town.
Traveling.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Oh God.
so I tried to call Abdullah in the morning. He doesn't answer, of course. He calls me back at 10 a.m. I'm at work. He's at work. And we start discussing what's going on. How can we fix this? And he tells me, listen, no one is home. My family is at work or school, and you can't go right now. We can't do it. So we have to wait until later that night to reload the episode.
So what about all the crazy fans on Twitter? What are they thinking?
So yeah, Abdullah and I decided to go online and from our personal accounts and talk to AlkoraM3na account and ask where the episode is and mention other friends of ours and blame them that they stole the episode because they don't want it to be live because we talked trash about their teams. And that kept going until later that night, and then we republished the episode again. And we found the episode. Yeah.
Oh, so you tried to play it off like as a joke type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So if you were going to take one thing away from that experience as a podcaster and to everybody listening, what would you take from that?
Upload the episode to cloud.
Okay.
So you can access it from anywhere and make sure it's published.
And don't tweet about it at night.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. All right, let's move on to Fowzi then. Fowzi, what do you have for us? What's your horror story?
Well, my horror story is once in Comic Con Jeddah started, we have a lot of guests come to Jeddah, and it's a big opportunity to host some our talent people like cosplayers, prop makers, and so on, content creators. So we invite their two girls who should come with their guardian. This is normal in Saudi Arabia. They never come alone.
The girls are going to come with their
with
brother.
guardian. Yeah, their brother, some driver, their husband.
Okay.
But I never expected when the mother came and entered with them.
Awkward.
Yeah. And they were tall.
Okay.
Tall people, like Ammar over there. Where is he? Okay. So, I was intimidated to say hi. The mother say hi. Okay, welcome. Have a seat, please. And today we're going to host your daughters about props and say, you encourage them to do this stuff. I'm trying to stop them in my house. I say, okay, this has become a therapy session now. I say, no, it's okay. They have talent. Some people will hire them. They become like models. What kind of models they will become? Okay, relax, mom. Have a seat, please, and listen to the other person. The daughter was very talented, actually. She's a medical student, and she creates props from her medical stuff, like Scarecrow. You know, everybody knows Scarecrow about Batman? Yeah. Okay. So what she brought from the hospital, needles, syringes. I put her fingers, and put some Jello, and she was explaining. The mother said, interrupted. That's why the nose that time was in our house. Okay, I said, the mom, what do you do when she start do her props and do hammering and chainsaw? Say, actually, I punish her. I put it in another room. Why you encourage my daughter to do this stuff? I say, okay, mom, we try to encourage the daughter to use her talent, especially in Saudi Arabia. We don't have any prop makers. Say, okay, explain to me. Now the podcast shifted from prop makers and cosplay to the mother now.
To convincing the mother that her daughter's,
talented,
hobby
and
is...
what we do, it's very convincing and it's very good for our community.
Yes.
2 hours. 1 hour was podcasting with the mother. Mm-hmm. And it was entertaining somehow. You try to convince the mother that your daughter is very talented, and the daughter say, please talk to her to give me some space. There is one problem I have. I have my co-host, Fras, who doesn't have any kind of filter in his life.
Okay.
He expressed everything he liked, and he said whatever he liked. You're a mom or a daughter or your parent, whatever he said. So every time when he talk, I must finish him. Say, cool, don't say it. I know what you're thinking about. Say, I must ask the mother how to, cool, please. So 2 hours was hosting the daughters and the mom and pinching my friend Fres.
Good stuff.
This is one of most predicament I face in podcasting.
Okay, but what was the mom's impression of you? What did she think of you and this whole podcast doing scene thing?
Yeah, it's like we are having too much toys and we enjoying ourselves and say, you're a big man, am I right? I said, yes. Then why you have these old toys in your room? Okay, I said, it's for my daughters. She said, you have daughters and you encourage to do that? So it shifted to me to...
So it's your therapy session now.
Yeah.
It's shifted to you.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you then, your advice to podcasters listening, how were you able, as soon as you saw the guests coming in, changing and shifting, how were you able to change your interview strategy with her daughters and with the mother now there?
I think every podcasters, a lot of podcasters, even my friend Saeed and also Abdulaziz, you should be ready for everything. You cannot expect everything run smoothly as you expected. Always be ready and also understand everyone who come, they have their own psychological needs and they have own thinking. So always be open-minded. Listen to all your guests, even it was invited guests. Or this is my advice for everybody.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to Saeed. Saeed, what do you have for us in the horror stories category?
Well, mine is a bad one. It leaves a bad taste, and it's really horrifying because my co-host was almost eaten by a rat.
In the studio, where are you guys recording? Where is this happening?
Well, thankfully it happened remotely. He was in his room, so we record on a server, which means I didn't see that thing. So probably he had to face it alone. Well, let me tell you, that was episode 16 of RootQuest back when we started. And you know how they say the beginnings are hard and slow? I mean, for RootQuest, it wasn't like that. It was filled with ittisalat interruptions and disconnections, which means that we had to face so many problems in the first 15 episodes. And then episode 16, I truly believe that was going to be a blessed episode because it was our first episode ever in the holy month of Ramadan. And then, so I talked to the guys. I told them, guys, get ready. Ask every single person in your house to not use anything in the network. No illegal anime downloads or movies, nothing. Because we need to use the full potential of your network. And the guys were okay, except for my co-host, Sultan. Because when I say I want a perfect episode, Sultan is always excluded. Because
is he the troublemaker in the duo? Is this how it is?
He's my co-host, he's the troublemaker, and he has the highest rate of disconnections in the Middle East.
So why aren't you guys recording in the same area? Just out of curiosity.
You know, because there are two ways to record the podcast, and my team are scattered all over the universe. So we had to do it this way. So I tell the guys, get ready, let's do it. And you know, in Ramadan, they chose the worst time, but it was also the best time for them to record, which is before iftar. And usually, you know, people before iftar, they are hungry, and because they are hungry, they are angry.
Angry.
Yes, and that means, as a host, I had to manage it very well. So, and Sultan loves to eat, by the way, which means he has the worst situation, like bad disconnections. He needs to eat, and he has to record.
This Sultan sounds like a character. Is he here today?
No, he couldn't join us.
Oh, if only he was here to witness you talking about him so wonderfully.
Yeah, I know. Everybody says that, by the way, because I have lots of stories about Sultan. Anyway, so I decided that, okay, guys, let's go. And then Sultan was like, Saeed, I have something to tell you. And I was like, what? He said, I have a rat in my room. And I was like, what? Like, I know people pet lots of things, but not rat. He said, no. There is a rat that I've been chasing since morning, and I couldn't get it out of my room. And now it's hidden somewhere, and I'm truly nervous. I was like, you know, Sultan, it's fine, okay? Because, you know, I know he needs to eat. He's angry, he's nervous. I was like, do not care about anything. We're going to do it. So we started recording, and surprisingly, it was the perfect episode. No interruptions, not even Sultan's connection disconnected or anything. So it was perfect. We were so happy. You know, as I wrapped up, you know, we were clapping, shouting. We forgot anything about breaking our fast.
And then Sultan was truly angry. And I was like, Sultan, I really believe in you and your network. Thank you so much for your effort today. And he was like, okay, but now I really need to go now, okay? Because I have to eat. And then I hear this.
What an attack is happening on the other end. The mic is no longer functioning. This is a podcast, sorry.
Yeah. Sultan's spirit is here, I guess. So all we hear is, a user is disconnected from your server. And then we were like, yeah, that is so like Sultan.
So he screams, it disconnects,
You know,
and then what?
we hear these beats.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
the attacking of the microphone.
Yeah. And then he leaves the server.
Okay.
So afterwards, we call Sultan, are you okay? He's like, yeah, okay, I have eaten. I was like, what did you eat? And he's like, I break my fast. It's totally okay. What happened to the rat? I don't know. So up until, I called Sultan 2 days ago. I told him that I'm gonna tell the story here. And I was like, do you remember what happened to the rat? He said, no, I don't remember anything. So I believe it's either that we were so miserable, so desperate, we want to have a perfect episode that even the rat felt sorry for us, so it decided to stop attacking. Or the rat was so pissed off that Sultan was chasing it all morning, and probably the rat as well was fasting. And then right at that moment, when it was the time to break fast, because the rat was hungry and angry, it attacked Sultan.
It attacked Sultan. All right, so just out of curiosity, what was the episode that you guys were shooting? Do you remember?
Yeah, because RootQuest is about video games.
Mm-hmm.
So funny enough, we talked about a game called Far Cry. So
Far Cry.
yeah. So,
And your friend Sultan ended it with
a
a
Far
large
Cry.
cry.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, I wanted to ask just one question that goes to all three of you guys, if any of you have had this. I've recently been hearing about influencers joining podcasts and trying to, promote podcasts through their, network. Have any of you had horror stories where an influencer has come on? I see you smiling already, so take it away, please.
Yeah, when we first started, we tried to contact a lot of influencers, get them on to get the podcast well known. And there's this influencer with 100,000 maybe followers and a bunch on YouTube. And so we contacted him, we got him on. He knows about football, at least that's what we thought. So he comes to the show, starts talking, and he keeps on giving wrong information, wrong stats, wrong names. And to start, we correct him nicely, just to, it's a football show, and you talk about stats and numbers, and you have to keep your credibility. Your listeners trust what you say, and so he kept on giving these wrong information over and over. And then he started talking about certain people in the government of Saudi Arabia that are in high positions in a certain matter that you should not talk about.
That's a no-go.
No, not at all. So yeah, we ended the episode quickly, and we're like, yeah, thanks, man, it's been great.
And he thought he did a great job?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, confidence.
And we were like, as soon as he left, we were like, this is not going live, no way. And 2 hours later, he tweets about it. He's like, oh, I was with AlkoraM3na and can't wait for the episode.
He's putting you in the corner. Now you're in the corner.
So yeah, we uploaded the episode, but it was heavily edited. So yeah, it's like
heavily edited.
Yeah.
All right, great. Okay, well, thank you guys to each one of you for your wonderful stories. Should we open it up to the audience if anybody's got any questions? Oh, one question.
Hello? Hello? Oh. Sorry, I forgot the name of the podcast for you in the middle.
housezofi.
Yeah, I really look forward to seeing the next installment and maybe potentially a break off where you just have a podcast where you interview angry moms in the Middle East. I think that would be great. But my question to you, the real question, is the mom's reaction, don't you think that that's sort of indicative of how the industry perceives podcasts in general? I would just wanted to get your thoughts on perhaps maybe why, or what you thought about the perception of maybe people who are not into podcasts and what they think about it.
Well, the mother problem was not the podcast. The mother problem, why we encourage her daughter to interview. That was the problem. But for your question, I don't see people have problem with podcast or what they view us, or everybody listen to us. And everybody, when you interview them very well and asking the right question and put in mind what they're thinking, they get impressed. They said, okay, what we're doing is good. And actually, she was happy that we respected her and respected her daughter, and we exposed her talent to the world, or especially in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. So she was actually happy, and she got a moment that she expressed her feelings to daughters without any tension. Even the daughter that will do. So the podcast is always a good way to spread knowledge on or host people and everybody. When you get them in the chair, once they start talking, they will love it for that. Yeah.
Great. Any other questions? Not all at once.
Our friends over there. Faiz, you don't have question for Saeed?
Faiz specifically.
Aziz, Muhammad. So.
Calling him out.
Our photographer. Okay.
Is there any podcaster in the audience that might have a short snippet to share, a little scenario that they've gone through? Everybody in the audience has had perfect podcasting experience. Thank you guys very much. Yes. Oh wait, there's somebody over here.
I have a question for Saeed. I want to ask you, because I know that you have multiple podcasts. Do you advise someone to have multiple podcasts, and how do you do it, and how do you manage it? Because you do it like so well. So,
at the beginning, of course, you have to focus on one podcast.
Sultan.
Stay here, Sultan. So yeah, at the beginning, you have to focus on one podcast, and little by little, you start learning about lots of things. One podcast is enough, to be honest, to begin with, because it's a lot of work and commitment, and you have to manage your team, especially if you are the host. But now, after 5 years, I think I can get to a level where I can manage different podcasts. For now, I have 3 podcasts. So we have RootQuest, 4 podcasts. No. Sometimes he steals me for his podcast when he has nobody to record with, but it's okay. So yeah, we have RootQuest OffQuest, and yesterday we launched a new podcast, Ader, and we will keep on doing it. But still, also you have to find the right passionate people who are ready to commit time and effort and resources for it. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thank you for listening. And thank you to our wonderful panel.